I think so, yeah.
And we're live. Welcome to the
Wow.
show, Whimsy and Chuck.
Oh,
Welcome to
welcome
the
everybody.
show. Welcome to the
Hi.
show. Welcome to the Whimsy
Show.
Show. And Whimsy and Chuck. Hi,
Yeah.
Chuck. How you doing?
I'm doing just great, Whimsy. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How's the seat feel?
How's the seat feel? It feels a little hot. The
Oh,
hot seat right now.
look what I got. Look what I got for us.
Hey, that's cute.
But I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I don't have a hat. I don't have a hat. I would put one on if I did. But you look great. That's your color too.
I'm having a lot of fun over here.
You are, and I'm going to have fun with you. I've never in my life done a live broadcast like this. Never.
Oh. Well, I figured it was
Opportunity.
perfect for you because a lot of people don't know this. Chuck Dransfield is a trance medium. And we have not really been able to explore the fact that you're a trance medium. But what I love about the Taco Tuesdays, here's the thing about Taco Tuesdays.
Okay.
Here's why I thought that you would be perfect for Taco Tuesdays.
Okay, tell me what.
Hello, everybody. We're going to talk to you in just a sec, but right now we're going to focus
Talk amongst yourselves.
on the beautiful Chuck. So, first off, you're in the big enchilada right now.
Yeah, I live in Los Angeles. The big
That-
enchilada.
The biggest enchilada.
Who is the biggest enchilada?
I think that you are it.
Oh, okay. I'm going to be that for the night.
Mexico City is the big taco, maybe.
Yeah, the big enchilada, the big taco. I guess either one would apply.
And New York is the Big Apple.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I've heard more vulgar terms applied to Los Angeles, but we won't go there. We'll stick to food.
So listen, we were talking about Madonna earlier, and people want to know what was the story with Madonna? What happened there?
Oh, well, you didn't know about this when I talked to you earlier
Not
today.
a lot. I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, I'm sure most of the viewers are familiar with it. Hospitalized, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago. But they've always been vague about it. They said a serious bacterial infection, and it has been said that it was so bad she had to be intubated for a while. She was very, very ill. She's out of the hospital. She's recovering. She made a statement yesterday to that effect that she's on
really?
recovery. She mentioned that when she woke up in the hospital, first thing she thought of were her children. She was worried about her children. And then she said she was very concerned because, she was about to embark upon her big worldwide 40th anniversary tour. And she felt bad for all the people who were let down. And she's going to have to reschedule. And they said it's tentatively going to be October. Which
wow.
Okay, but she was very ill. I don't know more of the circumstances.
Well, I say we do the impasse prayer and let's blitz away unless you have questions for me before we just get rolling. And maybe we can start seeing how it's doing. And then you can fill me on the rest of the gossip over in Hollywood. We can do a little political blitzes as well, though. I think people are burned out on politics. People want to play. It's Taco Tuesday.
I think so. It's Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. So you ready? I'll do the impasse prayer.
I think you should.
Sound good? Okay, let's do it. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively we say, Amen. So I'm going to use the cards, and I guess you'll use your pendulum, and also I get some trance work. And first question is Madonna going to be okay? I actually like Madonna. She's actually been quite a philanthropist historically, from what I understand.
It's quite a feat to have been around for more than 40 years the way she has.
Yeah, I think, what I think also is that she was very bold as a woman. And I don't agree with all of her artistic, everything she did, but I think she took a lot of risk. And I think that was important for female performers.
Oh, I think so, definitely. I think that's why she got as far as she did.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question. There's a lot of love for her. And I think we're going to see that when she finally does go on this tour. It's going to be, I understand, one of the biggest of her entire career.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Yeah.
We have a question from the audience. I think bears explaining. What's a trance medium do?
What's a trance medium do? Actually, I've never even called myself that. I'm just able to communicate with certain spirits. I'm an empath. I'm very good with spiritual writing. I do a lot of my artwork, even incorporating spiritual channeling. Many times I will connect with my subject. Even from a photograph, I can look into people's eyes. I'm very good at sensing their energy, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, their history, and I try to incorporate that as best as I can into their portraits.
Wow. So when you meditate on Madonna right now, like everything that's going, when you tap into her energy, and also when you're using I know you use crystals, and you also have a pendulum you use, and you also go into trance states. Do you feel like she's going to be okay? Because I feel like what I really want for her is to like have a new career with.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be great. She's human. The woman is 64 years old. She's just been hospitalized, intubated. She's going to need a few weeks, as anybody would. But she's going to be fine. I mean, that woman has such fighting spirit and energy in her. I think it's everything in her DNA, in every cell of her body. She's going to be fine, and she's going to be triumphant when she gets out there. She's going to be triumphant. Yes. Yeah, I'm just getting very strong. Very strong, yes.
I have another question for you. Are any of her kids like David going to get into the business? Will they be producers? Will they be actors? What do you think is going to happen with her future kids? Because I have a feeling some of them might get into the business.
Well, I'm getting a yes, but in all fairness, I already knew that several of her children are involved in music.
Oh,
I honestly don't know in what capacity, because I have not personally kept up with that. But I remember Madonna once gave an interview about what a creative household she had with her family. She said everybody had talent. People could sing, they could play instruments, they could dance. So I think it's just inevitable. I mean, the viewers out there might have a better idea than I would about that.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah. I actually threw 4 cards. I did a blitz on Madonna, and I got some really positive stuff also. The first thing I got is that one of the reasons why it goes back to what you were saying, which is like actors that believe in themselves, performers. People thought she couldn't act. Then she did Evita and proved she could act. And
she was good in that.
Yeah, she was very good. But canceling out negativity is where she's at. That's not even important. It's her family is very important to her. Judgment is sound, so I don't see a stroke or any mental deficit as a result of this.
Oh no! I got a very strong yes.
Yeah, that her brain's fine.
Just fine.
And she, in terms of future career, she has multiple options. 7 of Cups means that she should be producing her own label, and I'm sure she does, encouraging other people, because 7 of Cups, I would think she has many options.
Oh, I think so too. I mean, the woman still has a great deal of power in the industry. Yeah. I think she still write her own ticket in many, many ways.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, next question that people wanted to talk about for Taco Tuesday, and I actually had a much more passionate response to this than I thought. People want to talk about the writers' strike.
Yes.
And actually some writers are here today from LA. I know a couple of. What do you think's going on there? Do you think it's just going to go? Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? What do you think?
It's a stagnant standstill right now, and I think in that respect, yes, it's getting worse because it's already gone past the 100-day mark. And people I have spoken to have said that producers are not even negotiating right now. Talks have completely broken down. I'm suspecting producers have a lot of stuff already in the can. They're plenty of money. There's not even a hurry to get a fall season going because, frankly, most of the networks just show game shows now, reality series. It's not like the old days where you had a full primetime schedule of scripted dramas and comedies. So I don't think the studios are under any real pressure right now. I think it's the actors, the writers, the people trying to put food on their tables, pay their rent, pay their mortgages. Those are the people that are hurting very badly right now.
And when you talk to people, because you're in the heart, you're there.
Yes, I am.
You and I have friends that do this. So what's the general feeling right now in LA when you talk to people, actors?
There's a lot of discouragement. There's a lot of resolution. in that people devoutly believe they're doing the right thing. This has to be done. Streaming has to be addressed. AI needs to be addressed. You can't just keep putting little band-aids on the situation. It's got to be overhauled. So the consensus I'm getting from people I talk to is this is the right thing to be doing, but it's hard.
Okay.
It's a tough time right now. And you also have to remember, in Los Angeles, this affects everything. This affects restaurants, dry cleaners, little stores, caterers, businesses, all because it's so interlinked together. All the thousands of jobs at the studios, and when those people aren't working, they don't have money to do other things. So it could be very harmful to Los Angeles.
Okay, so I guess this next throw, will the writer's strike continue, or is it going to get worse? Are actors going to get involved? So
that's a multi-part question. But do you want to address the writers first and then the actors?
Yeah, let's do the writers first. If people want to know when it's going to end.
Is this going to end?
I'm thinking that it might not, but let's take a look.
Is this going to end soon? I'm getting a no on, is this going to end soon? Is this going to end by the end of the year? Even that is kind of like maybe wishy-washy, maybe. I don't know what you're getting with your cards.
Terrible. The cards are terrible.
I'm getting that this is going to go on for several more months.
This is horrible. They have no, look at this. They have no choice. Enslavement.
Yeah, that's how many people feel.
This is poverty.
Yeah, people are hurting. People are hurting very badly right now.
So I don't think that they have a choice. I think that it's really, look at this, the industry. I thought they had another 5 years. Maybe they don't even have 5 years left on the industry.
Yeah, it does seem awfully self-destructive. We were talking about this earlier, and we did the recorded interview about actors getting residual checks, and sometimes they're like 12 cents, 35 cents, literally like that, which, nobody can live on poverty wages like that.
Look at this. Enslaved by the devil. People's greed in Hollywood. Well, people conflict. Look at these cards. They're horrible for Hollywood.
That just seems like a situation that's going to implode on itself, from those cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about this earlier also, just about karma. You can't keep mistreating people. You can't keep using people without it eventually coming back and collapsing. And maybe that's just all coming to a head right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you see the direction that Hollywood is going and you see where everything is turning, do you think that they will save themselves? I mean, are we going to, maybe it needs to end. I don't know.
I'm not sensing any time in the near future that it's going to literally just end. But it could be we're watching the gradual demise, and maybe that demise is not all that gradual. Maybe it's going to start accelerating. But for certain, there have to be changes. We're already seeing it with the movie industry. Movie theater attendance is way down. I'm just repeating something I said earlier when we did a taped interview, but I went to see the new Indiana Jones movie on Saturday, which should be a very busy time, for a matinee at the Glendale AMC, and there was almost nobody in there. I think in the movie theater there were maybe 15 people, and I just get the feeling less and less people are going to the movies, and they're staying at home and they're watching streaming services. And so that in itself is indicative that some big changes are happening, and that's also a point of contention with the actors and the writers, why streaming residuals need to be changed. It's a whole different thing than it was even 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the next area is a little weird that people wanted to talk about. I don't know. One of the things that people wanted to talk about has to do with this big issues that are coming up right now about we have a question. Claudia is asking about Sound of Freedom, which is a film that came out. It's about QAnon. It's actually about the issue of pedophile rings. It actually did better in Hollywood than a lot of other. It was put out by evangelicals. I don't know if it was put out by QAnon, was it?
Don't know a whole lot about that. I've just heard a little. I had a friend back east. She wrote and said she saw it and she liked it very much. But I don't really have
I don't know
enough
I think it's just about. I think it's just the true story of a guy who worked for the FBI busting pedophile rings.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it's interesting that it's just that I think Hollywood has lost control of the narrative. Women over 50 are the women that finally have a little cash.
Yes.
And we turn on the TV and there's no personality, there's no strong female roles for women over 50. So, and they seem to be extremely fixated on young girls to the point where it creeps me out. I don't know about you, but what in God's name that has to do with theater or acting or anything.
Well,
if you look at Shakespeare, you had all kinds of ages. You had the midwife, you had the this, that, and the other. And what started to happen in Hollywood was this narrowing of the plots, narrowing of the stories, fixating on the super young.
Well, they're playing to a young.
Why? Why are they playing to a young audience?
Because
people with money are over 40. That's another thing I don't get.
That's where the big money is.
Well, it isn't.
Demographic. I realize that, but I think that's the thinking, younger demographics. But my feeling is, people as they're older, they're more interesting. They've had more experiences. They've more life. There's plenty more stories to tell. And some of our most fascinating actors, Meryl Streep, Judi Dench, Maggie Smith. I mean, older actors, Kathy Bates.
Yes.
I love these women. I consider it a treat whenever one of their movies turns up or a show.
I have a question for you as a medium. Yeah. Okay. You have, as a medium, connected with a lot of people who have passed, right?
Yes.
So my question to you is, when did you first start to hear the voice of somebody else, and who was it, and did you think you were crazy? Just curious.
Yes. Most people do. I think most of us initially question, is this just my imagination? Is it my overactive imagination? Is it craziness? But I first started to pick it up, Lucille Ball. After she passed, I just knew her energy. I knew when she was in the room. James Dean, those were two of the first. And I started using a notebook and just doing writing, spirit writing. And what I noticed is each section had its own distinct personality. And things were being said that I never would have come up with on my own. Never. I would just be in my state and I would just be writing and I would just be listening. And spirit writing is kind of like deciphering a language, translating a language where you're not literally always hearing words, you're hearing feelings and you're interpreting that feeling into words. But as you go along, it's like a string, like you're stringing pearls or jewels. It all starts coming together. And it's when I read it back, it makes perfect sense. And it's a very distinct personality. There are things that I never would have said myself. So that started to become more tangible to me, where I could see that I could do this. And, but it got to where, like James Dean, for example, he would come to me in dreams. I don't know if you want me to tell this story.
No, I think I think what you're saying is really significant, because a lot of people ask us about remote viewing. A lot of people ask us about being professional empaths, being psychic, and people will talk about their dreams. And I think what happens when we sleep, when we dream, is that we are vulnerable and receptive.
Yeah, we're in that alpha state.
Yeah.
We're definitely more receptive. I've had I've told them before in your interviews when you've talked to me in the past. I don't know if you want me repeating things, but I've had a couple of examples that were just so vividly real and definite. Did you want me to give an example? Or
yeah, they wanted to know if you could channel a celebrity now. Like, if you think about a recent conversation you had, I think the person you speak with the most is actually Lucille Ball, right?
I do. But usually it's when I'm alone, it's when I'm being quiet, it's when I'm writing, I'm in a meditative state. I don't know if I'm really in the state to do that right now.
But we can, I am curious though about previous conversations you have with these energies,
Yeah.
particularly your relationship with Lucille Ball, because she
Yeah.
not only showed up, she started getting you jobs. She started
Oh
doing
my God.
things, right?
Right now,
Introducing you to her friends.
she got me a very big job last year.
Yeah, Chuck is the portrait artist of Lucille Ball for her
Lucille,
private home.
I'm very good friends with a nice lady named Mary Rappaport, and she owns Lucille Ball's childhood home in it's just outside of Jamestown.
It's
And
insane. It's absolutely crazy what's happening.
it's 59.
People started contacting you. I mean,
Well,
this is what I mean. You start to think you're crazy. You start
Yeah.
hearing he started hearing James Dean. He started hearing all these people. And then their friends started showing up. And then they started buying him plane tickets. And then you wound up in Fairmont. And then you started painting. Then you started hanging out with his cousin. I mean, crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, Mary
stuff.
hired me to do for the family home, Lucille Ball's childhood home. She spent 2 years restoring this house from top to bottom. Lucille Ball's 91-year-old brother, Fred, was still alive until I think 2008. His memory was razor sharp, and he helped Mary to restore the house. They went out, they found original furnishings. He was able to recall what things in the house were original. They went up in the attic, they found the original wallpapers, and she was able to reproduce those. And Fred told her what was in the living room and the kitchen. So it's quite authentic. Mary wanted family portraits.
Oh, wow.
Of the Ball family in the parlor. Lucy's mother, Dee Dee, her grandparents, Fred C. Hunt and Florabelle, and then Lucy as an 8-year-old girl. 8-year-old Lucy and her little baby brother, Fred. So I did 4 large canvas oil paintings. You can't tell me Lucy did not bring that to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the most heartfelt experiences I've ever had in my life. I could feel her presence with me every single moment. I could even hear Lucy saying things like, if you want to honor me, you honor my family. Because she loved her family. And I could just feel her instilling personality into each of the paintings and supervising. Because, she's a very strong-willed soul. She got what she wanted, and she made her feelings very clear. So she was guiding those paintings all the way. And now they're in her childhood home where the family lived exactly 100 years ago. And that's my pride.
You live a magical. You live the magical world. I mean, you live in a magical world. You really do.
I feel I do. It was very similar with James Dean's hometown.
Because we have a lot of questions about Lucille Ball, and
that's another show.
You have a very sacred relationship with Lucille Ball, so I just want to stick on that. Is she the most interesting?
I'm just looking at could I just address this? Somebody said that Lucille Ball was in contact with her good friend Carol Lombard. I know about that.
Go ahead.
Amazing story. Lucy and Carol were incredibly close. They were almost like sisters. And it was devastating to Lucy when Carol was killed in the plane crash. But Lucy started getting guidance from Carol in dreams, where Carol would give her business advice, help her with movie roles, help her with her acting. And then finally, it was just before she was going to do I Love Lucy. This was a major gamble for Lucille Ball because it was going to mean having to give up her film career on this new thing called television. This was 1951, brand new medium. This was major gamble. Carol came to Lucy in a dream and said, honey, you can't lose. Go ahead. Give it a whirl. You're going to be fabulous. Lucy woke up. And that's when she decided to sign the contracts, because that dream with Carol Lombard. She said, if Carol said it, I know it's true.
Wow.
What happened? I just had to answer that person there. I saw that on the side of the screen.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No. I think we all are curious. So what was the most amazing stuff that, other than getting you a ton of jobs, Did Lucille Ball? What is the most amazing advice she ever gave you as an actor? Like when you connect with her spiritually, or what was the most amazing thing? Just what was the most, what guidance you got from Lucille Ball when you would like what would she say to you?
So many stories. You said as an actor, I've got a story there, but I've also got another story, which I think it's a greater story. But I'll just say very quickly, many years ago, I was on stage doing a local production of Barefoot in the Park. I was starring in that. And there was a sequence in it, it's basically a two-person play for most of it. And we were having a lot of trouble with the timing of a scene. It just was not clicking, and it was not even working right up to dress rehearsal. We were worried about it. We were out there on stage from the audience. All of a sudden, whoa, I felt this energy hit me like a bolt of lightning, and all of a sudden, all of this timing and presence and the line delivery was coming out of me like I had never done before. And my co-star was even looking at me like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And that was Lucy. That was Lucy. You cannot tell me that wasn't Lucy. It was her timing. It was her presence.
So Lucy possessed you and took over because you didn't know what the hell you were like. I'm out of my depths as an actor. She's like, I'll take the role. Oh my God! You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of that film with Robert Downey Jr. where he's possessed by that guy who wants to be an actor so bad. And I was an extra in BB King, and he goes onto the stage with BB King.
I think I know.
I was one of the extras in the audience, and we were directed to go, "Hey BB, hey BB," and Robert Downey Jr. comes out and he gets possessed by Charles Grodin's character, and he sings "America the Beautiful" or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, someone mentioned Star Trek. Yeah, Lucille Ball was behind that. She's the reason we have Star Trek.
Wow, crazy.
So, I'm sorry. I'm seeing the comments here on the side of the screen. The story there. Lucy had what was called development money in her contract because big stars like her, they gave perks, and so they put extra money in her contract that was hers to use as she pleased. But it was called development money if she wanted to use it for shows, and she did not keep that money. She took it and used it for the pilot for Star Trek. And that's how we have Star Trek today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to know, when you connect with her, is she with Desi? Or I mean, they were soulmates, right?
They were soulmates. Do you know that story about the last time they ever spoke to each other? It's in Amy Poehler's documentary, and it's been told a few times. But Desi was dying. He was near the end of his life. And he was slipping in and out of consciousness. And Lucy Arnaz got on the phone and called her mother and said, "Mom, I think if you want to talk to Dad, you better do it now. There's not much more time, and he's conscious right now." And Lucy held the phone to his ear. He was very, very weak, but she held the phone to his ear, and she couldn't help but overhear. It was Lucille Ball going, "Desi, I love you. 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 I love you." She just kept singing over and over. And then Desi said, "I love you too, sweetheart." And then he closed his eyes. He closed his eyes, went into a coma, and then he died a couple of days later. Lucille Ball was the last voice he heard, the last person he ever talked to. And it was them telling each other, "I love you."
So when you go into, because I know she shows up in his living room, right? She sits
yes.
and has very strong opinions about all kinds of things, including today's political situation, I'm sure. I'm sure she has all kinds of things.
Very opinionated. Yes.
She's very much with you and very much gives her opinion in the here and now.
Oh, yes. I know we don't have a lot of time, but sometime I'll tell about a dream I had where she shut my computer down.
Oh, yes.
We probably don't have time. We need to talk about other things, I would imagine.
Well, people are saying, but she called Desi a loser during the bar.
Okay, that is something that has been misconstrued. She didn't mean it that way. And Lucille Ball even addressed it later. Lucy sometimes could be a little tough, a little tactless in her language. What she was referring to was the fact that Desi built up things and then he had to lose them. He had to destroy them, like the Desi Lou Studios, their fortune, their marriage. he had this need to lose things, and that's what she meant. But she should have said it better, because for the last 30 years, people have been going, "Oh yeah, Lucille Ball called Desi a loser," but that's not how she meant it.
Does Desi ever come through? Like, when you talk to her, is he with her, beside her?
I have felt him. When I do some writing, I have felt him, but he doesn't come through so much. She's far more dominant. But you know, my friend Anastasia?
Yes.
She does channel Desi. She just started working at the Roosevelt Hotel, which, in itself, with all of the ghost stories about Hollywood.
Yes.
But she and I believe in the same ways. And she said she called upon him. I'd always told her what a friendly, warm, loving soul he was. And she started picking up on him, and she said she feels his presence. And it's a very comforting presence. Very loving, very comforting.
Before we go today, I have a couple more quick questions because of what's going on right now in Hollywood, and if we could do some blitzes on it. Like, people are talking a lot about the fact that, again, there's the writers' strike, and the actors are now thinking about joining it. Do you predict that things are going to get better for actors? I mean, can we go and just see if it's going to get better for?
Right. The pendulum got tangled up for a second. We're on live.
The future of Hollywood. Will we be able to?
Is it going to get better for actors? Is it going? I'm getting yes. I'm being very. That's a very general question, but I'm saying, is it going to be better
for everybody, not just the actors?
Okay.
We want to get rid of the bad people in Hollywood.
It's going to be better for everybody in Hollywood. Okay, now the pendulum is swinging to a no. Now, maybe that's because that's too broad of a question. Maybe we need to be more specific.
Are people going to have better human rights? Let's just talk about human rights.
Are there going to be better human rights in Hollywood? Are there going to be better human rights? I'm not getting a strong yes, but I'm getting a yes. It's going in that direction. But it's not a strong yes, which that could just mean maybe it's still very much a work in progress. We're getting there. This is going to take time. But this is just opinion here, but I think if people truly stick to their guns and see this through, it has to get better. It has to be. If people are going to just stand up and demand what's rightfully theirs.
I get patience. It's going to take a lot of work.
Okay, that's
deal with the psychopath. Look at this, the psychopath.
Okay.
The devil.
Okay, now the psychopath card, do you think that has to do with studio heads?
Yes, I think that they've got the money. I think that he's got the money. Look at that. And so as long as they've got the haul, what we have to do is just start smaller studios and smaller with amounts of money and just draw people. The only way to, maybe this generation is still going to have those people, but in another 2-3 generations, who knows?
Yeah, it's going to take time.
There's still this hole, the money,
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's just not going to be a fast transition. That's what I'm sensing. But we talked about this earlier today, all the people who are doing their own things now, like what we're doing right now on the streaming service. I mentioned that a person can take their iPhone out of their pocket, shoot a feature-length film, edit it, score it, put it together, titles, everything. People have power like they've never had before.
Yeah, and I think that what I just went ahead and I threw some clarification cards. They say that it will be righted. You have like justice over Hollywood, like the King of Swords.
Yeah.
Look at this. Jail.
Wow. Well, as we've already seen with Harvey Weinstein.
Look at this. Containing the psychopath.
Yeah.
And look at this. The devil is in the grave. So we will win. Hollywood will get better. And the music industry, they say, is next. And I have a question for you. Somebody asked if you could talk briefly about Britney Spears and everything that happened to her, both as a medium, but also somebody who works in Hollywood.
Okay. I don't really keep up with Britney Spears that much. I know.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I know that, she finally won her freedom, her literal freedom. I'm sure everybody knows about that. The court case with her father, who was, I think he even insisted that she be put on birth control.
Yeah,
had an IUD put in her so she couldn't even conceive a child.
Yeah, she was forced to wear a device. She was The Handmaid's Tale. It was like straight out of The Handmaid's Tale.
Almost
I think people just want to know, is she going to be okay? Is she
well, let me see.
we could do a quick throw on Britney Spears.
The way I usually work is more of a meditative state than this, but I can certainly. Is Britney Spears going to be okay? Now I'm getting yes, but I'm feeling like that's a vague question to say. Is she okay? Whimsy, do you think we should be more specific about that?
Her mental health, like,
is the state of. We need to put this in yes or no for a pendulum. The state of her mental health. Is she going to be okay? Is Britney's mental health good right now? I'm getting kind of wishy-washy maybe on that. I'm not getting, what are you getting?
They want to put her back in chains. She's the golden goose. She's a pretty little golden goose, and they want to get some of that golden goose. And when she took off, you can't leave. This is almost like, this looks so much like human trafficking. That was basically, they wanted the FBI to come.
It certainly feels that way. I mean, as we said, when you're going so far as to
everything is great. Then you've got this investigation going on. You've got all these plans, but you've still got her crazy dad and all these other people.
Yeah.
It was gravy when they could control her. They can't.
I'm getting kind of an in-between here. If she is under incredible duress, strain, stress, that would certainly affect anybody's mental health. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe if the woman were just left alone and she had her time to heal and nurture herself, she would be just fine.
It looks like she's going to be safe, but I get the impression that they're trying to get control of her again, because you know what this reminds me of? The occupation of Ukraine. When you go into Putin's energy, we want to take Ukraine back because we had all that money we got from grain sale, all this money, and then the money is gone when we had to leave. So it's the same when you own a person. This is basically a person who is a piece of property, and she went and got free, and now the money, they're not getting the money, she keeps the money. So it almost feels to me, when you go into Britney Spears energy, like, we're going to come up with another way to capture you. We're going to do it again. They can't let go of the money. A judgment in her favor, 10 of Cups, happy life. But look at this. Look at the courts. The devil is on the courts with Britney Spears. And look at this. They're constructing another case. No, we're going to get you again. We're going to drag you back in.
Yeah,
try to put you back in jail. She moves on. She has to, in plain words, what the cards are saying is she has to continue to protect herself because there are still predators in Hollywood that want to control her.
Yeah. Well, I know that she conceived a child, and I believe she miscarried soon after. It's just I get the feeling that it's still very tough for her. She's trying her best. She's trying, but that's very sad what you're pulling up in the cards there.
Yeah,
it certainly makes logical sense to me, based on the little I know of her.
Yeah. Somebody had asked about what I use for the psychopath card. Most readers use the Knight of Swords as the psychopath's card.
Interesting.
Because the Knight of Swords, he has a sword and he's just violent. In the Morgan Greer, his sword has blood on it. It's a very destructive, violent kind of energy you get.
Yeah. I knew that vaguely because I had a tarot reading done for me once a long time ago, but it was a bad time in my life, and that card came up. And I remember that being explained to me like, oh, this is not good. It kind of shook me up a little, so.
Are you ready to get a little controversial?
Why not?
You're in the big enchilada. When was the last time you had tacos from a LA taco truck?
Honestly, never. I've had tacos, but never from.
Okay, people want you to talk about Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, what do they want to know about Tom Cruise?
Is he as weird as people think? What's the story with him? Have you heard anything about religion, Scientology, and the whole thing?
Yes. I'm being careful what I'm saying. I don't want.
He puts out. You know what's sad about him, though? I will say this, and I can be hard on actors. Objectively speaking, and this is, I think, sad to watch, Tom Cruise is a damn good actor. I just don't like his films.
Yeah. Well,
Born on the 4th of July. Come on, that was Academy Award-winning acting, and he did a great job.
yeah.
I just don't like his movies. The guy can act.
And I think it goes back to what we were saying about Madonna. Anybody in this industry who can survive several decades, that's amazing. That's amazing fortitude. There's got to be something incredibly special about anyone who can survive as long as he has. And just last year, he had the biggest hit of his entire career at the age of 60. The latest Top Gun movie.
Cool.
I'm being careful in my language. I don't want to speak bad of people, but I have, because I live here, I talk to industry people. I have heard a lot of not so favorable stuff about Tom Cruise, but
we don't have to gossip. The question
Yeah,
is really more: where do you see his career growing energetically?
energetically,
Somebody said, "Is it Gossip Tuesday?" Yeah, but it's done in good. We aren't out to help. We're just talking about Hollywood, recent issues. Gossip is vindictive. I don't think we're coming from a vindictive.
No, but I don't even need a pendulum for this. I think it's going to just keep going for him for quite a while. I say that, last year he had the Top Gun movie, which was like $1 billion, more than $1 billion worldwide revenue, biggest hit, one of the biggest hits ever, and certainly for him. I just, I was in the movie theater Saturday. I saw the preview for the new Mission Impossible movie. There's no question that's going to be a blockbuster film also. So I think for the time being, he's in a very good place. At least career-wise, he is.
And what do you see energetically? Maybe you'll use the pendulum. Is he going to stay in the church? I think that many churches are just reforming. There are some people in Scientology that say, L. Ron Hubbard wrote a few sci-fi stories, and we need to. That's not the real church. We need to get rid of all that, and we need to just focus on good mental health and whatnot. And so people are talking about reforming the church. Maybe they will reform the church. Who knows?
That feels like a multi-tiered question. It feels complex. I don't know if I can narrow that down, but
what about him? Is he going to stay in the church? Do you think that Tom Cruise will stay in the church?
Is Tom Cruise going to stay in the church? Oh, that's a yes. Tom Cruise is going to stay in the church. I mean, that's strong, yes. And that doesn't surprise me. I almost would have said that just off the top of my head because, again, I'm respectful of people's religions or whatever they want to pursue for themselves. But it's been my experience, people, once they're in that church, they generally stay in there.
The thing is that people, I hear what they're saying because I watch a lot of the Scientology crowd. Yeah. A lot of people are like, we don't want to leave the church. We just want to reform the church. We want to do the Dianetics health stuff, keep it affordable for everybody, and get rid of all the crazy Xeno stuff. That's all storytelling. And I thought maybe they'll go through a reformation like other churches and continue to survive. He has faith, creative time for the church, but you also have Two of Swords. He's unmoved, refuses. But there's also heartbreak here, just as any of us would feel if you found corruption in your church.
Oh, of course.
You want to have empathy for somebody. If I, it was a member of a church and I found corruption, I would be upset too, because nobody wants to see something bad happening in their church.
I would feel the very same.
He has heartbreak over it.
Yeah, I would be heartbroken too. Anything that I had given my total faith to, and I found there was anything that was corrupt, anything that was off, I think he's going to be there always. And I think also the fact that he is such a prominent figurehead member, I think that in itself is going to make it difficult for him to ever get out. I mean, I'm just giving an opinion here. I hope that's okay.
Well, I think it's easy for us to be critical of somebody else's church, but we all, come from something, and maybe what we're seeing is a reformation. We wish them well,
Yeah, exactly. I believe in respecting anybody's right to their own faith, what they choose.
Right.
I like when people try to impose that on others, but I certainly respect it for themselves.
All right. So this question is coming from Debbie Brady. Wants to know. Questions coming from Twitterbug.
I'm looking questions.
She loves Carrie Fisher, as do I, because she married Paul Simon, and I am also married to Paul Simon. Even though Paul Simon doesn't know it. Yes. You
and I went to a Paul Simon concert at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yes, he took me to a Paul Simon concert. Yes, it was fantastic. Thank you for that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We were up there dancing.
Have you? I think you've done this. Have you connected with Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher after they passed? So what information did you get?
I have not. I haven't even tried that. I was going to say, I had a friend who was working at Barney's in Beverly Hills, and he waited on Carrie Fisher. He said she was the dearest, sweetest, gentlest soul he had ever encountered. And he was going through a crisis. The phone rang. His uncle was very ill and dying, and he had to leave. And Carrie said, "Oh my goodness, what's wrong?" And she got out a piece of paper, wrote her personal phone number on it, and she said, "Please call me. Call me tonight. Let me know your uncle's okay. Let me know you're okay." Now, wasn't that extraordinary?
What a lovely woman.
That's
I mean,
Carrie Fisher.
I've always had a huge crush on Paul Simon. I just thought they were the most perfect couple. I just thought they looked so adorable. Well, yeah. I mean, I loved it, and I got a T-shirt of him. But I mean, he was like, she was only like 5'2", and he's like 5'4" or something. So she was the perfect height for him, too. Yeah. That's cute. But I guess the question people ask for the pendulum is, do we feel if Carrie Fisher and their mother are connected in after they passed? I would think so.
I think so, but I'm just going to ask it as an objective question, yes or no, Carrie Fisher. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think you and I both knew what the answer was going to be there. I mean, the fact that Debbie Reynolds died 24 hours after her daughter, and you know that story, don't you, about how she put herself to die?
No,
well, she was with her son Todd. So Todd witnessed this.
Debbie Reynolds was with her son Todd?
She was with her son Todd.
Okay.
And Debbie Reynolds was extremely distraught. You know, if you know anything about their relationship, Debbie was basically Carrie's caretaker. You know, Carrie had mental health issues, drug issues. So Debbie was always taking care of her. And Debbie was saying to Todd, Carrie needs me. Carrie needs me. She can't be alone. She needs me. And then she said, "Do I have your permission? Do I have your permission to die?" Basically, she said, "Do I have your permission?" And Todd said, "Yes." And he watched this. Debbie shut her eyes. And 15 minutes later, she was dead. I understand she had a cerebral hemorrhage, I believe, but she literally, before his eyes, willed herself to die so she could be with Carrie again. So that's why, even without asking that pendulum, I knew what the answer was going to be.
It's so interesting you say that, because when I threw for Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds in spirit, I have the magician with the dreamer. We came into this world like we were meant, we are bound.
Soulmates.
Yeah, they are like
soulmates.
They are in this. But you know what I also feel with this is like they trust each other.
Yes.
They trusted each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful relationship.
Protection over work, protection. Look at this, same spiritual ethos. Look at that.
Yeah.
Heart disease. Yeah, like a stroke or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Carrie died of a heart attack. She was on a
That's
plane.
right. I forgot about that.
Over the Atlantic Ocean. Coming back had a heart attack on the plane. And then Debbie, the official cause of death was a cerebral hemorrhage. But I think she just sat there and willed it to happen.
Well, you have that spiritual alignment you see here. I mean, this is great. You have the church, but you also have the magician. And then you have her she chose to leave. Look at that. Isn't that incredible?
That is extraordinary. I've known of cases like that. I personally knew of a mother and daughter that died a day apart. Well, it wasn't a day apart. The mother died the day after the funeral. It was that close. The daughter was a very good friend of mine, and she died of a heart attack when she was only 40 years old. Unfortunately, she was very obese, and her heart gave out. And I gave the eulogy at the funeral, and her mother was sitting there her mother was destroyed, just crying and shaking during the whole service. And then the next day, my friend's sister called me and said, "Chuck, guess what? Our mother just died." So another example of that happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when souls are so close and so interdependent on each other.
Right. I have a question here from Mara. She wants to know about Jennifer Garner. If you're picking up anything on Jennifer Garner, she has talk about someone who's gone through a lot of crap. Jennifer Garner,
Yeah.
her husband and everything else. They want to know if she's going to be successful in as the role of Elektra in Deadpool 3, or if she's going to have any future career stuff.
Well, we have to do one question at a time. Do you want? Is she going to be successful as Elektra?
Yeah.
That's a big yes. Look at that. See how strong the pendulum is going? Yes.
She deserves it because she's had a really rough time.
She's going to be successful in Elektra. Do you want to? What was the other question?
I think that was the only question, but I just wanted.
That was the only question. Okay.
If she was okay. What about her love life? Does she have a love life now after she divorced Ben? I mean,
I usually don't ask questions of the pendulum, but let me see.
What people? I'm everybody in love.
Okay, do you want me to ask? Does Jennifer Garner have a love life right now?
Yes.
I'm getting a no.
Oh, is she going to have a love life in the future?
Is she going to have a love life? Well, now look at that. Yes.
Oh, good.
See how
is she going to find a soulmate that's better for her than Ben Affleck? That's all I care about because
she's going to find a soulmate. Why don't we put it that? I'm getting that. Is it going to be better than Ben Affleck? Okay, Buck. Yes.
I'm not saying Ben Affleck's a bad person. He went on his soulmate. I mean, is Jennifer Garner? Oh, wait a minute. I have a question. Do you think that Ben Affleck is soulmates with Jenny from the Block? Jennifer Lopez. Do you think that they're soulmates, or do you think it's just lusting? Or
well, I don't know personally, but let's see. Are Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez soulmates? I'm kidding. No.
They're not soulmates, but they're soulmates.
Well, what are you getting with your cards? Do you get anything?
What about twins?
Look at this. Are Ben Affleck and
there's their marriage.
Jennifer Lopez soulmates? I'm just getting no. No, I mean, you got to keep in mind people can be in love and have great relationships and not be soulmates. They're
saying that they're going to. My cards say that they're going to break up. You want to see it? My cards say that.
They say they're going to break up?
Yes, soon. Here they got married.
I mean, I'm holding it up so people see I'm not.
Oh my God! They can't make a relationship.
I'm going to ask it again. Are Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez soulmates? See how it's going to the side like that? Very definite. That's a no. That's a no. And you just got a card that they're breaking up?
Yeah, let me tell you. I'll tell you. I know everything. I know everything. I'll show it to you.
Okay.
They got married. You see that? The marriage.
I see a comment here. Someone saying I'm moving it. Well, I hope people can see I'm not manipulating this. Do you want me to do it one more time? And Jennifer Garner.
No, not Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
I think Jennifer.
Pardon me. Are Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez soulmates? I'm getting a no.
Yeah. So
I am not moving this. So
they're just kidding. Okay, so they got married. Here's the marriage card.
Okay.
But here, watch what happens. The other in relationship to Jennifer Lopez is Ben. He's starting to feel exactly like he did in his marriage. Trapped. Look at that.
Oh my God.
Look at his card.
It sounds like he's a serial marrier. I don't know.
What is her biggest fear? What is Jennifer Lopez's biggest fear? Infidelity.
What's that?
Infidelity.
Infidelity. Oh my God.
Look at the final outcome for their marriage. Death.
I can't. What? Death?
Death.
Well, isn't that a cheerful card? Oh my God.
So they got married.
Yeah.
He started to feel trapped. She was worried about him having an affair. The marriage ended.
Well, and I just backed you up on the pendulum here. They're not soulmates.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments here about Ben Affleck.
So do you think that, we're having fun. Come on, it's Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So listen, I have another question. So was Jennifer Garner his soulmate? Did he just screw it up with his
Well, soulmate? I'm just going to ask it. I don't know. Okay. I should ask it in the present tense. Is Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck, are they soulmates? Are they soulmates? It's wishy-washy. No. I'm just that for whatever it's worth. I'm getting no. What are you getting?
Well, I did a clarification over their marriage that there will be some change within 30 days regarding their marriage. He's feeling defensive and enslaved in his marriage. He has a lover or affair, and he's thinking of throwing in the towel. 5.
You know what?
Death or there will be a major change in his marriage.
Yeah.
With those coexisting cards, people say, well, death doesn't mean death; it means change. Yeah, but with those
also,
cards,
one of your viewers here wrote, "Death means a change." I mean, the death card. You know.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize the death card can be a positive card. But I
don't think so.
This is not positive. No.
No, those cards were terrible.
No. No.
All right, so I think we'll do. That was fun, man.
I'm having fun.
Well, it says there'll be a major change in their marriage within 30 days. Doesn't mean they'll divorce, but there's something going on because there was a love. She's afraid of lovers. She's afraid of him cheating, because lovers can be an infidelity card.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, this is fun. Let's do one more.
I hope people don't mind that we've been going into gossip here.
Taco Tuesday is our weird day, so
okay, good.
UFOs and celebrities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do politics. I'm tired of politics, you guys. They want to do it every single day. I just can't. I can't. There's only so many times I can throw the cards to ask if Donald Trump is going to get arrested. It's like,
oh, tell me.
Is Trump going to be indicted this week? You can use the pendulum.
Okay.
And then I'll throw, and then I guess call it a day.
Okay.
He or his friends,
is Donald Trump going to be indicted this week? I'm getting a no. Okay. Donald Trump be indicted this week.
Is he going to be indicted within the next 30 days?
Is Donald Trump going to be indicted in the next 30 days? I'm getting a maybe. Where it's not a firm yes, but it's not a no. It's going diagonally in a maybe direction.
Okay. My next question is he going to be indicted in August?
Is Donald Trump going to be indicted in August? It's moving to the yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Donald Trump.
That's what I got too. You guys, you want to see it?
You're getting that in the cards?
Yeah. He's defending himself. You have a victory card here, but I'll show you. You have the August card. 8 of Wands. 4 of Cups, rejecting an offer. They tried to get him to flip. Look at this, though. 6 of Pentacles is to be served.
Wow.
And Queen of Wands, you don't want to mess with. So, also, I see him getting audited. You know, with Trump, you always get these poverty. Like the 5 of Pentacles is 3 of Pentacles is to build a case against somebody.
Oh, you know.
But I always get like 5 of Pentacles with him and poverty and stuff like that.
Wow. You know, I just had this envisionment of Jamie Lee Curtis, that IRS auditor she played. She won the Oscar for. She was an IRS agent from hell. Wouldn't it be great if
what was the show? What was the movie? I forget the movie.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Did I say that right?
Wait a minute. Didn't I see this movie? What was it about?
I think everybody is still trying to figure out what the movie is about. Every person I have talked to has said the same thing.
I do remember that I saw it.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I love Jamie Lee Curtis's character.
So I want to give a shout out before we close today to our very own Debbie Brady, the manager of the show, and also creative director. Thank you again. If you'd like to get some of these great merch, the shirts that we wear here, and love to support the show, helps keep the show going so that we can continue to have amazing guests like Chuck Dransfield. Please check out the merch that Debbie Brady has developed. Also, Debbie Brady has created a wonderful fan pages for us. And also, I guess we're getting a fan page set up for you. I don't know when you're starting that, but hopefully that'll be getting started pretty soon.
I'm just reading the nice comments here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
A
lot of
and we are planning on having you here every week for Taco Tuesdays to talk LA gossip and everything else. And we do it in a loving way. We love everybody, even the naughty executive producers. We pray that they will turn ahead. So if you have any celebrity questions whatsoever for Chuck, or you'd like to know anything about celebrities who have passed on, send them to whimsyanderson@gmail.com, because we will be back on Tuesday. This is going to be a regular event.
Oh, somebody just said, I want to see more of Chuck. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and thank you. Someone said, we love Chuck. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. You're so sweet.
Well, Chuck will be with us.
Thank you.
Till the end.
Well, let me tell you, everybody, I love this lady. We go back several years, and she's literally, I've told her this many times, she has literally been an angel in my life, and you're continuing to do so. Thank you.
Yeah, you're my good angel too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you got a hat.
And the hat, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Love and light to you all. If you are trying to get in for a reading with me, the information is below this video. If you haven't joined our fan pages yet, please be sure and check those out. And think about becoming a member. Memberships really also help support the channel. We have Fairies and Angels for $2.99, and then we have the Elders and Empath package, where we teach remote viewing for $9.99 a month. And then we also have a Benefactors package for $99 a month, if you would like to join that. And that allows you to get a free reading once a month as well.
Yeah.
And everything else.
Get all these nice comments. It's just, there's so much love out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Stay with me until the end. I mean, don't go anywhere. I'm just going to close out the stream. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. And send me your questions for Chuck for next week. And I know he's going to enjoy answering them for you.
I've had a lot of fun, Whimsy.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being my co-host for today's show.
Oh, I've never done this.
Get used to it. This is your job for Tuesdays for the rest of your life. So.
Oh, for the rest of my life.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.